Guess what his therapist is, guys? This therapist who's so supportive and encouraging. It's a woman, of course. And Brittany called it. Of course he manipulated her. She's standing there in the park supporting his impulsive, encouraging him to sign a lease while he's in rehab.
I want to know, what is this rehab place? Because it does not seem like accredited. Is it full of fucking life coaches here? Usually a therapist is not somebody who tells you what to do. It's infuriating if you're like, hey, do you think I should sign this lease or not? And they're like, well, what do you think you should do? But that's their job, is to say, well, do you think it is financially responsible of you to sign a lease? I really thought more highly of these therapists at this rehab center, but I was clearly wrong.
I am convinced the therapist was the Reiki therapist. He is in a Reiki rehab.
We gonna stir it up and do things our way. So if you wanna move, get out of our way.
Hey.
Happy PCP Thursday, everybody.
Welcome back to the 818. Although some of us never laughed.
You're like, your entire life will be in the valley.
Until a certain family adopts me who lives in Bel Air. Take a wild guess. I never mention them.
You're getting closer and closer every day.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Maybe this year, Kathy. Oh, I gave it away. We'll do a Hanukkah part. No, I'm joking.
No, that party's with Nikki. You have to get in with Nikki.
That is true, actually. Yeah. Maybe we could do a humans. Well, that's in the valley. So that actually would be fitting. But yeah. Yeah, in case you haven't figured it out, we're talking about the Valley. Magical show. And yeah.
Gosh, I love it. I mean, we're on episode 7 already. So I guess we're like halfway through, probably.
Yeah. The mid-season trailer came out. So, I mean, it's always a good sign when a show gets a mid-season trailer. That means you're like in for it, you know? So I'm excited. We got a little preview at the end of this episode, but.
Yeah. I mean, the beginning of this, I was like, oh, what? It's so funny. It was like, the very beginning was like, oh, Jasmine, you're an angel for picking up Zach at the airport at LAX. And I was like, actually, that is very true. That is the most LA thing. One of the most LA things anybody could ever say. It's like, that is love.
Yeah. I wouldn't even ask them. I won't ask anyone to like drop me off or pick me up at LAX. Like I'll take an Uber. There are shuttle services. That would be like, yeah, I'd be more comfortable asking someone for an organ, to donate an organ, than I would to take me to LAX. And it's a two-way street, so no one asks me to take you either. I hate it.
Absolutely.
I want to say I caught something in there in that scene with they're picking up Zach, and I figured it out because it had different lighting and you could see different coloring. It's not it's obviously, we know now Zach doesn't wear a toupee. That is his hair. But what adds to the toupee-ness is that he does dye it. And it's maybe he should be a little lighter because it's like a little too harsh for his coloring, but he had a different color, like an auburn, and you know what I mean? If you look through the footage, the shade of brown changes. And I was like, that can make you look like you're wearing fake hair with the shades on.
I wonder if it's a box dye, because sometimes if it's like one color, it
Mhm.
can look too flat, which then can make it look toupee like. Whereas if you're getting it professionally done, they'll put in like a highlight or a low light, to help make it look a little more
Yeah. This looks like he just like ran through like some men's shoe polish black or dark brown. I was just like, when I caught the light and I was like, is like, yeah. No.
You don't have to worry about Just for Men. So there we go.
I'm like Larry David. I'm always like figuring out who has a toupee, what's wrong with their hair. It comes from a place of of anger. No, I'm like, I have to take the hair down. Yeah.
As long as you can admit to your jealousy, then there you go. I think you're already on a higher spiritual plane then. So
Yeah.
The next thing I have written down is just kid crap with Nia and Michelle. It shows you how much I care about kids.
Yeah. I feel weird when the kids come up on this show as much as this show is to show their new stage of life and parenting and stuff. I do not view these people as parent material. I still think of them as in the back of Sir. You know what I mean? In the alley behind Sir. I'm like, these they may be adults, but they're feral adults, and I don't like to think of them as having kids. Like seeing a toddler run through a frat party. I'm like, is someone watching them?
That just made me think of, Sweet Home Alabama, when she's like, you have a baby in a bar.
Yeah.
I mean, I have friends now whose like kids are graduating from college, and I'm like,
Ew.
what? I'm still 19. What are you doing here? Like,
I found myself this week referring to 25-year-olds as kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're old now, officially.
Yeah, I'm like, leave the kids alone. Oh, those kids are gonna do what they're gonna do.
Oh my
well,
god.
it's yeah. At least Jackson stuff gives us hope. I mean, he hasn't hope, or he's a warning sign. But either way,
that man, I'm not ready to talk about him yet. He angers me so much. Ugh.
Well, in this one, we got finally a sit down with Danny and Jason about last week and that confrontation. No, this is a continuation of the.
And Luke was there too.
Yeah.
At Heavy Handed, which I would drive by. Well, not drive by. I would ride by on the bus every time I went to go teach spin. And it was changing over from it used to be called Mr. O's. And I remember they were painting it that horrible orange color. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so loud. Just like their burgers are. Now, I have never eaten there. The burgers look absolutely yummy, but like, just like Danny asked, it was like, do you have a salad? And they're like, no, basically we have burgers, fries, and like ice cream. And I was like, my lactose intolerance hurts every time I like look at that place. Like, gets me right there.
I meant to look it up, and that disappoints me. That I usually like to be like the guide to where things are. I haven't seen that one.
It's on Ventura and Studio City, just right down from Laurel Tavern and Black Market.
Oh, okay. I know the area.
At
this sit down, this is what I wrote, and I wrote Janet is acting like Danny showed her his weenie. Those are literally my words.
Oh my gosh.
I can show you guys so just so you guys know, that's literally like how I speak. I really am an angel. And I was just like what the whole thing, it created a secret I was like, what the it was way too much. I am on Danny and Nia's side with this.
the more it goes down, the more I am too. I just
Mm.
am just like, this is too much. And also, last week when we were watching that, when they were talking, in that, when they were having basically like the conference in the bedroom with like Brittany and Nia and everything like that, like at the end of the previous episode and then the beginning of that episode, I was like, is this the quote unquote pantry that
Mm.
like Janet and Danny went into? And I was like, it is actually, because it's a pantry slash bedroom. And I was looking there and I was like, wait a minute, these shelves are literally right behind the door. And I was like, so did he have to close the door to get
Oh,
into this pantry to take this swig? And
yeah.
that's what it looks like to me. I'm not saying like, I just really think, again, I just think it's something, it's just stirring the pot over a lot of nothing. Do I think that Danny might drink a bit too much at times? I do, but that's also, I just don't think he has a problem that Janet's making it out to be. Like, I
Yeah.
just, no.
Janet is really trying hard for this. Like, it's very clear to me this was an attempt to do you know, we all know she's studied Bravo. I think this is very before they started filming, she came up with a plan last season. Obviously Danny and Nia are like the wholesome couple, and I don't normally side with that. I'm a Janet in real
No.
life, a Kristen Doute. I love toxicity and chaos. I feel like
But you also love alcohol and alcoholics. So
yeah.
you're going to give people that pass.
Yeah. I'm like, I have to. What's my motto? You can't blame me for what I can't remember, and so
Mhm.
yeah. But anyways, no. I'm just like, I feel like they were resentful that that relationship came off so well last season, that it was like there was a meeting, a Fox Force style meeting, to come up with something to take it down. But Janet's not that sophisticated of a villain, and that's the issue.
No, at least not yet. Did you notice? I had to even rewind. I was like, did Luke look directly at the camera at one point? And he
Mm-hmm.
did. When Jason was like kind of going, and Luke just did this look of like, what? I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, production did have Danny's side, where when Jason is going on about like Danny's issues, and they cut to the flashback where Jason is drunk in the hot tub on the trip, telling Danny not to worry about it. It's nothing. And Janet would have
Mm-hmm.
protected him too, or he would have protected Janet too. And
Mm-hmm.
anytime production does that flashback, it kind of is showing who they back up.
I mean, I think it was the after show, Jason did then backtrack again and was like, well, sometimes you say things and then you think about it more and you have to, and I agree, but it still feels like this was Janet.
Mm-hmm.
Janet may not have told him, you need to go talk to Danny, you need to do this, but I just feel it's that whole like indirect, like chirping in the ear, like keeps talking about it and da da, like you should bring this up, or not even you should bring it up, like this is something that's really bad. This could help a lot of people if you actually talk to him about it on camera. Da 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 da. Like the power of suggestion is great. Like you don't, let's look at Jesse and let's look at Jackson, the way that they suggest things about their ex or soon to be ex-wives all the time to make other people feel the way that they feel about those women, and without outright saying things at times. So
yeah, I think Danny in the after show called it out, which is what I picked up on in the moment in this scene at the burger place, which is how like kind of out of sorts or tense Jason was. It wasn't his natural. It felt forced. It felt uncomfortable. It felt like his wife sent him back to the store to complain about something and demand an exchange or a return. He was trying his best to seem like forceful, but yeah.
I'm sorry, sir, you can't return this half-eaten thing of ice cream to the store. Well, Well, my wife hated it. It's not exactly what. Well, I'm sorry, sir, that your wife hated it. No, you don't understand. If I go back without my money back, I will no longer have any balls. So you please must help me out in surviving my marriage.
Do you know
That's
what
what
I'm
it feels
going
like.
Yeah, do you know what I'm going home to? Please just give me this ice cream.
Please, let me have this win, please.
And what else do we have next? I mean, we do have Jax. Oh my god.
That man. That I this might be an episode where I really go off on this man. But like his whole quote unquote crying and his self tape, his absolute fake crying. I won't even say fake tears because there were no tears. There was a lot of like sniffing and like rubbing his dry eyes. I'm like doing this for my son. Oh my god. No, you're not doing it. You're doing it all. It's all for you. It's all for you. It's all for you. And it even shows more later on in the episode. I was just like,
oh yeah, when he's definitely recycling points, talking points that he's read, but obviously hasn't absorbed. But he's going through the motions of it. Or I did catch where he said, this was at first, I was fooled the first few seconds of his little thing where he's like, I'm ready to take the actions to change. Those are things you read in the little pamphlets the therapists give you. But obviously we know within like 10 seconds it was all an act and it wasn't real. But I mean, he went so far as to note the like, now I need to take the action. But his action was signing a lease.
If this man put as much energy into actually changing himself and becoming a better person as he did into lying and learning therapy speak and repeating it out to people without doing actually anything, like imagine what this man could accomplish with his life.
Yeah.
He could do amazing things, but like, no, that's not what he does. Part of my notes, I kind of don't know what I was writing down, but the whole freaking lease, and listening to it more, like Brittany explained it more. And then honestly, Jax trying to, I'm going to use air quotes here, explain it on the after show. Like the way my mind works, the way your mind works, your mind is mush, man. Your mind is cold macaroni and cheese with mold on it. That is what your brain is made of. Like the most unappetizing shit ever. Like that'll make people like sick. Like, oh my gosh. The fact that like, not only, I mean, I think a lot of us already were like, wait a minute, why is Brittany moving out of the house? So that stage had already been set for so much. Like, why does Brittany have to move out of the house with their son who is autistic and needs that routine there and needs that safe space of the home that he's the only home he's ever known? So why does Jax get to stay in the house? And then to find out how much money she had been spending. And then her also saying like, I had to spend extra money for a place with a pool because that is Cruz's happy space. That makes him feel even more comfortable. Therefore, it's way more expensive. And then Jax has the audacity in the after show to say that she is renting mansions. I'm sorry, she's renting ranch houses. Like these are expensive houses still, but they are ranch houses like in the hills. Like she's paying a lot of fucking money for it, but it's not a fucking mansion, you asshole.
And he was the one living, it's not a mansion, but it is like 4,000 or 5,000 square feet alone.
Yeah.
Because he kicked his wife and kid out.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the one living in the big house, the fancier house.
Exactly. I wanted to like I was blowing my top. I couldn't even. And then the fact that like, oh, wait a minute, he'd stopped paying the mortgage too. I don't care that this comes later at the end of the show. I'm sorry. And the thing is, in the show, she said that he stopped paying it in May. But then in the after show, I'm wondering if she thought it was May and then she found out later that apparently because in the after show, she said he actually apparently stopped paying it in February because she moved out in January. So it's been even longer. And so
Yeah.
not only were like all these penalties on top of it. So like when he's like, you don't pay for anything, and he's like, I pay the mortgage. He wasn't even paying the fucking
Mm,
mortgage. He wasn't even paying the mortgage.
yeah. I did like as they talk about this that it does kind of give you guys a peek into reality finances. The
Mm-hmm.
way they are, I mean, the way they're talking about spending thousands a month. You know, we've explained to you guys like these people don't make millions off the show. I mean, they are living within a budget. These aren't people who have Kelsey Grammer's alimony or Christian Strack's alimony. The show is what keeps the roof over their head. And you realize how oh God, I'm about to say relatable. How relatable.
What?
That's my
Okay,
least
wait a minute.
favorite
What has
word.
happened to you?
It,
What has happened to you?
it was realistic that they were worried over thousands of dollars, not million. I mean, that's a practice. Yeah.
Well, actually, let's go back a few years to when they bought this home. It was the smattering of like all the VPR people buying homes because
Mhm.
Tom Schwartz and Katie Maloney bought a house, similar house in the same neighborhood. So
Mhm.
did, Sandoval and Ariana, and then Brittany. They all bought similar homes in the same neighborhood in the Valley. But Kristen also bought a home around that same time too. But she bought a smaller home and an older home, not one of these redone McMansions.
Mhm.
It was more fiscally responsible with her money, with what she
Yeah.
was buying. Now, what all happened here, I'm not quite sure, but it actually sucks because that house, I really liked that house, like seeing what it was. And I knew exactly where it was. I was like, I know where that house is. I was like, that's a great little area over there too. So she was more smart with the piece of property that she bought. Brittany's underwater on that house.
Yeah.
Like
Those
paying
people
18 grand a month.
Yeah, those
Oh my
people
God.
spent a couple million each on their homes. Kristen's was, like you said, it was a regular family home. And when the show like fell apart for her and stuff, she sold at a profit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so she actually wasn't in the same position these people are, like juggling pennies on Cameo to like keep the electricity on. She knew. So who knew that sweet angel? I just love Kristen so much.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Mm-hmm.
one. Not she's not just an icon, an angel.
Mm-hmm.
She's wise. She's the Susie Orman of the of the Valley.
Oh God.
Maybe that's what we've been doing wrong all this time. We need to turn our finances over to her.
I think she has enough to deal with now with a baby on the way. Like, I'm not going to put that on her. Well, I can rage about Jax a little bit more later because, oh my gosh. But,
Yeah.
but then we have Danny having his own sit down with Jasmine and Melissa on camera and having a heart to heart, which is what last week I wanted. What I was thinking, I was like, I feel that Jasmine's just very specifically hurt and still wasn't over it just for herself. Like she didn't feel that Danny was seeing what the hurt, like what it meant to her and Melissa to be treated that way, which is, what you said too. And then what they ended up saying on the show. And I thought that was very good. And he did, to me, he seemed to be taking that part in. Like when he was like, I didn't realize that. I didn't even think about that. And it's like, see, that's the whole point. Like, don't be so dismissive. This wasn't just a normal, like thing, like being drunk and being a dick. Like this meant something to the two of them. So
Yeah, that scene actually went very smoothly.
mm-hmm.
It was nice. I mean,
This was an adult, like this was a way that like you talk, adults can talk, like have conflict resolution,
yeah,
So.
because I was worried this was going to be stretched out into one of I said last week she was going to try to Rena it with the Aspen van, with the Sprinter van, and try to take something off camera and make it the focal point of the whole season. No, it was a nice way to end it. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Which actually works out because we're going to see she really did accept the apology because soon she changes sides.
Who would have known? I mean,
No,
everybody does. Everybody does.
I liked it. Because what it leads up to is another sit down. And this one.
Speaking of our financially chaotic queen, financially responsible yet chaotic queen.
I love her. Kristen, Luke, and Lolly. Jesse Lolly meet up. And the guys are like, usually the guys on this show, but just in general, are the awful ones. You even have Jesse Lolly looking at Luke like, well, no, don't say it out loud. Maybe I called my estranged wife a stupid cheating whore last week, but this is even worse. Kristen, no.
Well, this is a way that I identify with Kristen in that I can be a social justice warrior too. And like, if you come after my friend hard, I will come after you. And like, sometimes it's like, there's a little bit of like, I'm not thinking this through when I open my fucking mouth. There's a few times that you do that. So and that's one of the reasons I've always like loved Kristen, because I'm like, I may disagree with her methods, but I understand it. I understand where she's coming from. Like, I was like, I get it. You're here for your friend. But sometimes I'm just like, just stop, just wait. Like Luke being like, wait a minute, we don't know if this is true or not. Like, please stop. And of course, Jesse's gonna run off and like tell people. Like, because Jesse's the biggest fucking mouth. He is Jax Taylor. They are the same person. They're big blabbermouths, narcissists.
Kristen's delivery of this, which if you guys haven't figured out, it's Kristen says, well, if they're going to come for my friends Danny and Nia, let's talk about Janet's husband. Let's talk about what she doesn't want out there. And that was the energy she was giving, by the way. That's what I was seeing, and why my heart was skipping. My heart was a flutter. She was doing this. It was like it's very Kim Richards at her peak. Kim Richards. She's like,
yeah.
It's like Janet would. No, she's like Nia would never act this way. Nia would have my back like a real sister.
I love how you bring everything back to Beverly Hills. All goes back to
It's my whole.
But I don't like it when they make me agree with a villain, but I did agree with Jesse on this in that I just didn't think that this rumor had legs, because I was like, because some men don't wear wedding rings. Yes, like to take it off like for the gym or to do certain things like that. I also go, to be honest with you, a wedding ring does not inhibit a man from hitting on a woman. I cannot tell you how many men with wedding rings hit on me while I was bartending. In fact, it tended to be the only men who hit on me were men wearing wedding rings. And I would look at them and I would look at their ring and I'd go, are you fucking serious right now? Like, ew. It's so gross. It was so gross. So like, I don't like. Also, Jason, I just feel like Jason hasn't been married to Janet long enough to cheat on her yet. Like,
yeah, how long have they been together?
I think like under 5 years. I could be wrong, but it seems like around that mark. Yeah, it seems like around that 5-year mark. I mean, like they were married a couple of years before having a kid, and we're obviously, almost a year behind the filming of this. So it's like, yeah.
If this wasn't Kristen, what I would say is she was making a good point. If you can say something that absurd about Danny and Nia, how does it feel if I say something that absurd about your husband? Which I think
that's a really good point, and I wish Kristen had brought it up that way.
Yeah, but I'm like, but it's not Kristen. consider the messenger. She was going for it. But I was like, you could rationalize it that way. Like, if you're gonna make things up, I'll make things up. See, we could all laugh it off. But no, Kristen doesn't operate that way.
Well, and just like we hear later on at the party, which we're about to get to anyway, and in the after show, Kristen also, this is a rumor that she heard from Zach, who heard it from Jasmine and Melissa, who were there when basically some friends of Janet and Jason's were mad that Jason didn't come to apparently a birthday party or something like that.
Mhm.
And it sounds like at the time, this friend group that's not a part of the Valley friend group, the show friend
Mhm.
group, they were upset and they seemed to like not be a fan of Janet. And they seem to be like saying some stuff off the cuff
Mhm.
about Jason. And so now they are backtracking and trying to make, being like, no, we didn't. Why would we say anything like that? We didn't say
Mhm.
anything like that. And Jasmine is like, you fucking assholes. Now you're back in good graces with Janet and Jason. Now you don't want to look like a bad person, but and Janet, I mean, sorry, and Jasmine and Melissa didn't even believe that when the people said it. They're like, this is just these people being mad and going off,
Mhm.
So it's like, I, it's all drama. It's all drama. It's all drama for our fodder. It's all fodder for our pleasure, for our viewing
Yeah.
pleasure.
Oh, I did have one thing where Luke but then I backtracked and remembered because I was like, the way Luke and Lolly were like, let's not go there, or like playing like I don't think it's true. I was like, it is true, and they know, and they're covering for him. I know that, like, but then boys will be boys. But then I was like, Jason's not in the boys chat. They wouldn't cover
Yeah.
for him the way this isn't. This
Luke's
isn't.
not in the boys' chat either.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they
Yeah.
wouldn't, because I was like, this isn't the bond of Jax, Schwartz, and Sandoval.
No.
I really just think they were like, I don't need yet another headache like this week of filming. Yeah. Because at
I
first
think
the reaction could have gone.
Yeah. I just really think they're like, Jason, no. They're like, we could tell a cheater, like, that's not a cheater. That's not a guy.
He's not
who's
one of
gonna go.
us. No.
Yeah.
If
Jesse's like, he's not one of me. I'm not a
Yeah.
cheater.
He's like, if he was a cheater, maybe we'd make an exception for his Samsung and let him in the group chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't like this is my thing. If Jason's gonna cheat, it would be because he fell in love with somebody else. Do you know what I mean? Like, he would be that guy, unlike Jax, who just, is so insecure and narcissistic. He's gotta, fuck his way to feel better, like Jason would fall in love with somebody. But I don't think, I just don't, I don't know. Like, granted, people always surprise me and you just never know with people who know, like, I could eat my words like 10 years from now. But at the same time, I don't really care because I'm not married to him. So
Yeah.
no skin off my back. Whatever. Yeah.
Oh. So we cut to Brittany's shark party. Is that what it is? Shark party.
Gotta have a theme. Gotta love a theme. I mean, this is a Valley theme. This is not a Beverly Hills theme. So there we go.
Yeah.
Which, sorry, can I do a sidebar real quick? One of my coworkers, Ryan, shout out to Ryan. Don't know if he ever listens to the pod, but he should. But I was looking at his Instagram stories and I was like, what is this story of, like, look, he's like eating burgers with some people and one of them seems to be dressed up like Dorit from the season 13 reunion. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, it was a Real Housewives themed birthday party that he went to. And and I was like, that's the most wonderful. And he sent me some more pictures from it. Oh my gosh. And I do have to say, the one thing that does make Dorit iconic are her outfits, because they are so good. They become a costume. And I was like, that is brilliant of Dorit. She is so outrageous.
The gold
There
leaf
was
in
one
her
girl who
hair.
did that gold leaf. That was one of the pictures that was sent to me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is fabulous. I was like, I think I'm going to do that. Not for this upcoming birthday, but my 50th birthday. I'm gonna have a Housewives themed birthday party. It's gonna be, or maybe just a Bravo themed birthday party. Like, come as your favorite Bravo character.
Yeah. Dorit.
I'll have it at Sir.
Nugget of it at Jax's Lounge. Oh my god.
That won't be around by then. I'm
Might be
surprised
already
it's still
gone.
with
Yeah, yeah.
us.
Oh, but yeah. So this party, I mean, we see Jason and Danny make up. Blah blah
Mhm.
blah. I mean, that was right for Jason too. I mean, that was
Yeah.
freaking easy. But
Did you feel like, sorry to cut you off, but like I felt like that was like Jason being like, yo, I had to do what I did for my wife. Like,
yeah,
because he did seem really sorry about that. He seemed very sorry. Like, I was like,
I
okay. I
think
mean, I don't know if some shit happens later on that tears them back apart. I don't know, but he did
that.
seem really sorry.
Yeah, and I feel his friends, Danny too, was saying like, "I know it wasn't coming from you. I forgive you." Like it was unspoken. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was a genuine apology. Like they clearly made up and didn't want to fight. They were friends, and I think they both knew and just weren't going to say it. It's like I know it was that monster gremlin who beats you up at home, Jason. It's not your fault.
Oh,
That ogre you're legally bound. Oh my god, someone on Twitter. I can't remember who. I sent it to you last night. Like someone on Twitter called Jason. I'm sorry, not Jason. Someone on Twitter called Janet Caperna Satan in a Target dress.
I don't think she would dislike that. She'd probably be
Yeah.
like, you know what? Yes, I
It's-
love Tarjay.
oh yeah, she'd be like, it's like what I wear to Dave and Buster's in Ohio or whatever. Yeah, yeah, she might
Mhm.
go. Yeah.
She's like,
Oh,
I'm a relatable villain. Come on. Like, yeah,
yeah.
I shop at Target because I am anti DEI. She'd be
Oh
like,
my god. And then this part, I was like, oh God, she's back and nothing has changed. Lala Kent rears her ugly head. I don't mean because she's ugly, that's a turn of phrase. Just so you know,
Mhm.
like Clueless, Psych 101 rears its ugly head. Not calling Lala
Mhm.
ugly. Oh my God, she did not miss a beat. That
Mm-mm.
pause did nothing for her. She's like Dorinda. She is like Dorinda Medley. A pause does not help. She's just sitting at home for 2 years, 2 seasons, thinking up new lines and new fights to pick. I was like,
Look, I loved her going in on Jesse because
mhm,
I love anybody tearing Jesse down. But when she's like said something to the effect of like, I go hard for women and stuff, I was like, I think Ariana would like a word with you
mhm,
because you did not ride hard for her. You did
yeah,
not stand up for
it's a
her.
good,
Like
yeah.
you actually went in on her. I was like, so are you picking and choosing your feminism here? Like, come on.
Yeah. And like, I just was like, it took me a second to realize it was her. Because at first I was
Mhm.
laughing when she said, God, she's referring to Jesse. She said something like, he walks in, he looks like he acts like a dick. Look at him walking in so smug. And immediately they cut to him. And if Bravo would for once pay for music rights, which they won't do, by the way, you don't know it, but if you ever go to a housewives party or anything being filmed, like a there's no music because of the legal issues. So all those people are standing
Summer
around
House.
mingling and oh, do they pay
Summer
for it?
House is a perfect example. No, no, no.
Oh,
But
oh.
Summer House is a perfect example of that because when they're having the parties, it sounds like there's no music or like there's just like sound in the background. But then you will see later on, like their social media posts. Like there was one, oh, Kyle actually had a really great one of Sierra dressed as Brantley. And the music's just going on. There's Usher playing, there's all this stuff. And you're like,
Mhm.
you will never see that because
Yeah,
also music licensing is incredibly expensive. Like
right. So when
very,
you're like
very expensive.
standing, or say you ever wanted to go to like Kyle's white party and you're like, oh my God, it must be, yeah, you're kind of standing around with silence. But what was I going to say? Oh, I wish they would have cued to Carly Simons, You're So Vain. Lolly walked into the party like he was walking onto a yacht. I got, and then I was like, and then I was chuckling to myself as I normally do. And I was like, oh my God, is that Lala? No.
Yep.
And then she went right back into like, and again, my issue with, I mean, she was right about what she said to Jesse. She was like, yeah. My issue is you are not on the show, and it's that thing about off camera or digging into past seasons. She clear, like she wasn't around last season. She knew, she was very clearly coming in strong and acting like she has a history with the show, because she was very clearly trying to land a permanent spot in the cast. And it was like, so oh Lala, that's what I was like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She thought she was gonna make a splash.
Enough of Lala. I will say, bless Jasmine's heart for trying to say to Jesse, like, oh, I think you're still in love with Michelle by the way that you look at her. And I was like, no, he is not. When he said he's not still in love with her, no. But does he want to control her still? Yes. Mm-hmm. Is he still like jealous of stuff? Does he still like, would he still, fuck her? Of course he would. Of course he would. In fact, he would hate fuck her. He would hate fuck the shit out of her right now.
It would probably be the only way he would at this point, considering it seems it's so uncomfortable when she talks about, like, I wanted him to be affectionate. I wanted him to kiss me and hug me. I would rather her say something vulgar than like something than just be like, I wish he would caress my cheeks. I'm like, stop talking.
But it's a form of control. Withholding that affection was a form of control for him. Not giving her what she wanted was a form of control. And then it's very interesting because then in the after show, he was talking about how, no, I wasn't trying to control her. I wasn't trying to control her at all. It's just like we broke up, but we're still living together. I wanted to know where she was because we have a child and and she's coming home at 3 a.m. And I was like, excuse me, sir. That is not why. I was like, no. That was, again, a form of control. Like if she would have been asking you the same thing, you'd be like, you don't need to know that. We're not together anymore. Yada, yada, yada. All under the guise of like being a good parent. See, again, this is him trying to insinuate while not actually saying it, that like she's not a good parent and that she's like a whore or something like that.
Yeah.
Without actually saying the words. But like that's what he's doing while also trying to exert control over her, both physically and her reputation. And it just drives me insane. He's so gross. I really need Kristen and Luke to not be friends with him. Like,
I don't know. He wins points for me that Kristen is the ultimate endorsement for me. Jordan, I just trust her judgment. I enjoy her instincts. I shouldn't say trust. I enjoy her judgment and I enjoy her instincts. I just think.
I know. Yeah. Well, but also like in that way, like Kristen's, kind of an everyman in that sense of like, sometimes we make these character judgments of people because we don't like somebody else. So then we don't see the red flags, or we ignore the red flags when it comes to other people. You know what I mean? It's like she's kind of blinded by her, like, I'm not going to say hatred, but dislike and whatever happened, the stuff that happened with Michelle. So it's like, well, right now I'm on Team Jesse. So it's like, I'm kind of ignoring these type of things. And I think we all do that at times. Like that's why we like reality television. That's why we like these Bravo shows so much, because they are a mirror to ourselves if we are willing to look at it that way. So, that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Besides, like, these are my stories. These are my soap operas. So, oh, man.
So then what kicks off here is Jesse Lawley warns Jason that the rumor is going around that Kristen has kicked off the ringless rumor. And I mean, it really wasn't that big of a deal, but what I loved, Janet has to sit down with Kristen, and what Janet is mad about in this is why I was like, I wish Kristen had argued it this way, even though we know it wasn't her intention. Janet is upset that Kristen has blurted out allegations about her husband. That is horrible. Why did that happen? What did you blurt out about someone's husband, Janet? She said she's 10 steps ahead of Detective Doty. She did not see, she thought she had Danny in a corner. She did not see Kristen coming from the side to go after her.
Mhm.
That's why I said I don't think Janet's as sophisticated as a villain as she thinks she is.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, because again, you sometimes have to allow the seeds that you plant to grow. She's not good at she tries to plant a whole plant as opposed to seeds. And that's what good villains plant seeds, like Jesse and Jax planting these seeds, like these casual offhand remarks, these certain things that they do. Even Kristen at times when back on VPR, even Stacy, you know what I mean? Like you just say these offhand comments and then they wind their way through people like as they grow. And that's what you have to do. And Janet's trying to she's like bull rushing through.
Yeah, and what Janet reminds me of in her confessionals is she thinks she's Lisa Vanderpump here, the puppet master. She really sits there like, no one's smarter than me. I know everything. I'm like, you didn't see Kristen Doute coming right for you.
Well, this is the thing, when she's defending Jason and her marriage, it's like, well, I want to agree with you, Janet, but your whole attitude just makes me not want to agree with you. Like the way you come off about it. Like, I know my husband so well. And I'm just like, stop. Whatever.
Well, another highlight is, of course, Brittany gathers everyone to give them the update.
At Jax's bar.
Yeah. He's moving out without telling her. And this is also why I said earlier. Earlier, it made me think like I was impressed by how practical they were opening up about money on this show. As she says, her big fear is he's moving into this and then he's going to stick her with the mortgage. And she lays out how much it is per month. And I was like, that's honestly smarter than I thought she was. Like she was seeing the chess pieces moving.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I forgot about that. She gathered everybody at the party around that one table and told everybody about that. I was thinking right after that.
But then it does jump to at Jackson. I mean, it was all like one flow of scene.
But that's at Jax's is where we learn that he hasn't been paying the mortgage. And then in the after shows when we also learned that he didn't pay his taxes for 6 years. So they basically put a lien on the house, so they added that into the mortgage, and so that's why their mortgage. Even though like hearing that their mortgage originally was $8,000 a month, I was like, what? I mean, I'm assuming that they're rolling in the property taxes on top of that and like into that monthly. I don't know, but still $8,000.
Yeah, I'm trying to think like how much did they spend on that house? Like 2 or so. Is she keeping it? I shouldn't be asking. I should have researched this, but it seems like she's dead set on keeping the home, and I don't know where it is right now. Like, did they list it? Is she?
I don't know.
That's
your.
Yeah, I know. I'm
failing.
I'm slacking. Yeah, I don't think she would need to lose it right now because second season, she's doing okay financially at this point. Again, I mean, I'm sure she's catching up from all those years they were off TV, but she does have a real income coming right now. So at least for the moment, she should be okay.
Well, I don't know. I mean, she's also catching it from spending $100,000 on Airbnbs, on rentals, while Jax lived in their home.
That made me
Like,
so sick.
It does, like, so sick, so sick. Also, I loved it when they're at Jax's bar and Tom Schwartz makes a dig at Jax without Jax being there, because he would only make a dig at Jax with Jax not being there. And he
Right.
calls him Mr. Work in Progress, and I was like, yes, exactly, Mr. Always a work in. I'm a work in progress. No, you're not. No, you're not. Absolutely not.
My next question, and by the way, shout out to whoever figured this out so long ago, and now it's recirculating on social media. When Jax posted a view of his new place months ago, when he actually moved in during this period when it was being filmed, someone zoomed in on the view and the bolting on his balcony and compared it to Schwartz's, and they were like, he moved into Schwartz's building.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was the attention to detail. I appreciate that kind of psychotic stalking, so I'm impressed, whoever you are.
Mm-hmm.
Come forward. I applaud you.
Because they confirmed it, and then that's like, I thought it was so funny on the after show. Like, Jax was like, please stop. I mean, Thomas was like, please stop like lumping me in with you of like this whole like bachelor pad thing going on. And he was like, no, the whole thing, Jax is a gold digger. Let's just call him that. He's a gold digger. Like, he hooks up with women with money. Like, he acts like he has a lot of money, and then he takes these women for a ride. Like, Brittany moved out of the house. She kept paying like the electricity bill, the water bill, like those bills, and he just stopped paying the mortgage. He lived there rent free. Mm-hmm. He didn't give a flying fuck. Like, and that's what he did with Stacy, though. Like, he moved in with Stacy. She paid all the bills for a long time. This is what he does. He's a gold digger is what he is.
Or like a copper digger. I mean,
well, I'm gonna stand 10 toes down, and I'm gonna call him a gold digger. Like, that is what it. Well, because also these women are gold. Look, you may not like Stacy. Like, I've got issues with Stacy. Whatever, I'm fine with not seeing her on my television. But she was a great television villain and character. Like, she's got it, like what they call it. Brittany is great on television, to be honest with you. She's very good. I think she's been living in Jax's shadow too much. And I'm glad she's finally like getting this albatross off her. Like,
I think honestly, he would do better if he could. He has that gigolo way about him. Maybe what he should be doing is going for wealthy older women and wherever. Yeah, I mean, that would net him some.
Look, if he's going to be a sex addict and a sex fiend, he might as well get paid for it. So he might as well just be
instead
like,
of losing money on it. Build his credit score up.
Well, no, we know he won't build his credit score up. All of that will just go straight up his nose.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was sad when Brittany was like, I have to sell the family home now. But she does say there, it's done. That is when she tells us it's over. I mean, we watched the after show where he's jumping through hoops trying to justify why this was a healthy thing. And I caught something that was, I think we discussed when he checked into rehab, and it was our fear, our prediction, whatever you want to call it. Guess what his therapist is, guys? This therapist who's so supportive and encouraging. It's a woman who, aware of Jax Taylor, would put, of course, and Brittany called it, of course he manipulated her. She's standing there in the park supporting his impulsive, encouraging him to sign a lease while he's in rehab.
I want to know, what is this rehab place? What is it? Because it does not seem like accredited. Is it full of fucking life coaches here? And look, there are some very good life coaches. There are some people who can definitely help you out. But I have issues with this because also usually a therapist is not somebody who tells you what to do. They're
Right.
there to help you figure it out. They are kind of like an emotional Sherpa in a sense. Like they help you carry your load, but they're not actually showing you the way, which actually
Yeah.
Sherpas do show you the way. So that's not right. Like they're your emotional donkey, actually. They're your emotional Everest donkey who like helps carry your load. But like they're not supposed to tell you. It's infuriating if you're like, hey, do you think I should sign this lease or not? And they're like, well, what do you think you should do? But that's
Yeah.
their job, is to say, well, do you think it is financially responsible of you to sign a lease on a new place when your wife, because she's still your wife, just signed a 3-month lease on another place because you won't let her and your son live there peacefully? Like, no, like that's, yeah. And I really thought more highly of these therapists at this rehab center, but I was clearly wrong. Again, people surprise you every fucking day. These people prove me wrong.
I am convinced the therapist was the Reiki therapist. He is in a Reiki rehab.
Yep. That's probably how he found it, because he probably was like, where is she now? You know?
But I mean, Brittany even in the after show was like, what kind of rehab place is this? Why does he have his phone so much? Why on that whole creepy thing about him stalking her? We completely.
Why
Oh my
was he allowed
God.
to go back home?
Yeah,
Why?
what was that about? For more clothes? I don't think this was what they're saying. I know.
I don't think so either.
Like this isn't one of my euphemisms. I have not been to rehab, but I do know plenty of people who have, and it is not this level of flexibility. Some are better than others or looser than others. I have friends who've gone to really nice ones with like horseback rides and things like that. I get it. But this kind of freedom to come and go, and especially the phone, the communication. I know people like they might get like after dinner in the evening, you might get 45 minutes to catch up with your family, whatever, and then the phone goes back. This guy, throughout the day, he's checking the phone, checking surveillance cameras, harassing people. It's not, no, they don't allow that.
It's not normal.
When I would send there was one my friend went to, like it sent like an email. It got read by the staff before you, almost like jail. They opened your letters. I mean,
they go through your bags to make sure you don't have anything when you come in. You're practically on lockdown, and for most of these places, like, yeah, you can't call, because also like, what if you're calling your dealer and they're going to be like your brother or something like that, and then they come in, like they check everything. Like it's, look, even if you've just watched Celebrity Rehab, which was on like 15 years ago, you're like, this is, even that, like that was seems more hardcore than this, what Jax is doing right now. Like, I don't know. It just seems like a lot of bullshit to me, especially because when he went to the second rehab place, apparently it was a different place, but he only stayed there like a few days. And then he went back to this one because he was like, well, this one is nicer because they let me do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Yeah.
And then I've technically been to rehab. It's just, I feel really sorry for Cruz. I feel sorry for Brittany though too. Some people are on the internet being like, she knew what she married. No, she didn't. Because Jax lies. Jax lies 110%. And she was like a 25-year-old girl. Like just think back to when you were 25. What all the bullshit you believed at 25. Like the bullshit people fed you.
And I think when it's just you don't see it so much, but when a kid is involved and you're seeing it through the lens of protecting them, then you're like, yeah, that's not. Jax didn't.
Exactly.
Jax wasn't on a nature walk at 4 a.m. Let's be real, Brittany. Like, I mean, I think once you have the kid, you start looking at it through a different lens.
Look, and I give Brittany props because some people never wake up. from this. Or some people, it takes them 20 years. Like they've been married 20 years, their kids are in college, you know what I mean? Or like they're 60 years old and they finally wake up. At least she's waking up now. At least she's only like 35. You
Well,
know,
she has a primetime income. So she's free to live.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? That is very helpful.
As long as she can quickly get financially divested from Jax and start being fully in control of her own money, absolutely.
Yeah. What else is it? There wasn't much. There was one thing I had to give a shout out to in the after show, which is that I love Kristen's self-referencing. I think last week she referred to like whose behavior was it? Was it Danny's? She called it, that was 29-year-old Kristen behavior. This week in the after show, where she refers to her spreading the rumor about Jason as vintage Doute.
Mm-hmm.
She's in on it. She understands who she is, what she does, why we love her.
Her and Zach completely are in on the joke. They are willing to go, look, I get it. Like Zach with his fake abs, he's like, I don't care. He was like, I will do it. He's like, but I don't get in the pool. He's like just like he's in on it with the hair. He's like, fine, look, at least I got it. He's like, I'm fine with it, whatever. You know, they get it. They get it. They don't take themselves that seriously. And I think that's much appreciated.
You know what else would be appreciated now that I think about it? Oh my God.
What was that?
I don't know. Maybe it's something called clicking subscribe. Oh my God.
He's so amazing. He's so amazing. Do you know that we have gotten since we reached 1,000 subscribers, we now have over 350 more subscribers, like so fast. Like we jumped that hoop and like
on
we are
YouTube.
well on our way to 2,000 on YouTube. Yeah.
On
YouTube. So quickly. So like you should join the club if you're not there. If you're not part of the cool kids, join it.
Hit subscribe, hit follow. We're on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Live Journal. No, Blue Sky. Blue Sky.
Tumblr.
Of course, you can watch us on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen too. You don't have to listen alone. You can listen with your Reiki therapist, your rehab Reiki life coach, your rehab Reiki dealer.
Yeah, your LAX Uber driver.
Yeah.
Uber drivers would love us. If you drive Uber or Lyft or DoorDash or, Uber Eats, like listen to us in your car.
Yeah.
It's great. That's how I learned about a bunch of podcasts when I drove Lyft. It was fabulous.
I didn't know you did that.
I did. I drove Lyft early on, like back in the day. It was kind of fun. It was when I was bartending, but I didn't have enough shifts, so I drove Lyft in between.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's amazing the shit people will tell you.
To Uber. Oh wait, I was gonna give a show idea away, but maybe we should register it first. On that note, I was gonna say, who wants to say goodbye?
Mommy's home.
Get mommy a drink.